We're here today to do an intercontinental virtual eTrial. We have 5 judges in Washington, DC, New Zealand, Scotland, and 2 in the UK. And we're going to go online using video conferencing technology from Microsoft and using e-bundling software from CaseLines to show that we can conduct an eTrial over the internet using cost-effective solutions. With me in this room is Judge Simon Brown, who will be playing the role of the presiding judge for the virtual eTrial. Okay, well, we've completed the virtual eTrial now, Simon, and how do you think it went?
Well, I thought it went seamlessly, Paul. I was really expecting something to go wrong, somebody to disappear from view, or not to be able to participate, or people talking at the same time, and the like. We had none of that at all. It worked absolutely perfectly. In fact, far better than any other experience I've had with video conferencing. I thought the ability for us to be able to concentrate also on referring to documents and finding them easily was the key, because they were there in front of you on a screen, a simple screen to understand, a couple of clicks of a mouse, and you find the document somebody's talking about. It makes such a difference than having to pick up heavy volumes.
So that's a really interesting point to pick up on it, isn't it? Because I think that normally you'll find yourself on the judge's bench with a stack of paper in lever arch folders presented to you at some point by one of the parties. But in this virtual trial, you didn't have any paper, you had a screen instead, and all the paper was available through that screen.
Well, I think it's also important is that with the electronic file is that there's an easy index on the left, there's the documents in the middle, there's a toolbar at the top with every tool that you need, and no more, no less, and then there's on the right is all the little comments that you've added. Your notebook is there, so you've got everything you need. So instead of literally on the desk in front of you having your notebook with your pen to write, you've got the file to find the document, and you're physically having to do it, and you're concentrating on looking at page numbers rather than actually using the thinking time to think about the case. You're thinking about the mechanics because you have to do it yourself.
I suppose the electronic bundle makes life easier in many ways. For example, I know that early in the virtual trial, you were directed to, I think, page 37 of the bundle. How did that actually come about on the electronic bundle? What happened when counsel wanted you to go to page 37?
Well, there was a note which came up on the screen. Do you want to go to page 37? And so you click on yes or no, and yes, and it comes up almost immediately. And there it is in front of you, and you're able to see what the advocate is talking about. He's talking about page 37, paragraph 4, and there's a comment there which he agrees with or he doesn't agree with, and that's what you have to focus on.
So you were able to go to the page which counsel was referring to with one click of the mouse?
One click of the mouse.
When you got to that page, there was a pertinent point on that page, and I think you made a note.
Yes.
How did that work?
Well, I wanted to look to see what he was now advocating. He changed his case, and I wanted to focus on that particular sentence. So I drew down a box, and I just simply put it over the text that was referred to and clicked, and there I had the opportunity to write a comment, and I just typed in the comment. And I had the decision then, do I share it with or not? And I decided to share it with everybody so that the parties knew that this was the key thing that I would be looking at.
So does that mean that when you come to your summing up, you're able to access the notes directly in that way?
And some things are obviously very important, and I will then highlight them. I will sometimes write in the paper bundle And I will also write in my notebook. So it's actually quite a sort of a multi-layered task if you do it physically like that. You're able to do it just with the one click of the mouse and the typing it up, and then collate the comments at the end of the case for your judgment.
Now, often mid-trial, new documents come to light and need to be inserted into the bundle. And page numbering can be an issue at that point, and delay can take place. Is that different now with an electronic bundle?
Yes, it is. It's one of the most irritating things you'll find. It's irritating for the judge to be presented with other pieces of paper, and it's irritating for the clerk. And we make the point that we are not there, either of us, to do a clerical job of putting the judge's bundle together. Nor to write in 106A, B, C and D and the like. I normally get the parties to leave court to go and do that in my bundle. And obviously I'm a little reluctant to do that mid-trial because I may have written things in the bundle which might be quite derogatory or might be important comments. So it does that for you. So it saves us a lot of time mechanically and a lot of embarrassment.
So what you're saying is that even though a new document has been inserted into the bundle, the notes that you've taken so far are still available on the right page, available for you to review at a later point.
Exactly. And it also helps that you're able to identify which of the key documents that you're actually going to refer to, because quite often, even in this bundle that we were looking at today, there are going to be a lot of documents which are surplusage. You're never going to use them in your judgment, but you're able to hone in on maybe the 10 documents in the case, the 5 paragraphs, which are actually going to be the key to your judgment.
Did you need to install any special software on this PC or in order to use the eBundle?
No, all I did was I was asked to, by email, to put in my link and my code so that I could access a secure case file, and that case file came up just for me and nobody else, and so I knew that that was my bundle.
I see. So you were sent an internet link which you clicked on, and you were given secure access into the eBundle because you'd previously been registered onto that eBundle.
Yes, and also I happened to be at home at the time. I wasn't anywhere near the court, so I was able to do it there and then, and so I could actually spend the time on the train looking at it.
Now, we've demonstrated today that we can do a virtual eTrial by combining video conferencing technology with eBundle technology. And we've also shown that it doesn't have to cost very much money because the technology is available today to work in people's browsers without great expense. Now, I don't think all trials are going to become virtual immediately, but are there some aspects of trials where this technology will help, perhaps where some of the people are remote from the courtroom?
Yes, I think it's very important, and I've had experience of doing video conferencing with witnesses who are too elderly or infirm to come over to England. And last week I had one with an 84-year-old lady who's bright as a button, but probably a little bit wobbly on her pins. But she was a key witness to a particular conversation which I had to decide upon, and I had 2 versions of it, and she was a quasi-independent witness. And I needed to assess the quality of her evidence. It really did need her to be there so I could see how she reacted to questions being put, how she reacted to documents being put in front of her. And that would have been an ideal situation where she should have had the access to see the file. She didn't need to work on the file, but see the documents, and then I would be able to see on the screen what her reaction was. As it turned out, she was the key witness, and I founded my judgment on her. So that would be an ideal situation, distance being very significant. I think that it provides, the key thing is that it provides some access to justice to people who would not be able to gain it because of those reasons. And also there could be financial reasons, they could be distance reasons, or the like. I see no reason why this can't be used by litigants in person as well as by lawyers. So it has all those advantages, and I see no reason why it shouldn't be widely used.
Thank you. So I think what you're saying is that electronic bundles are now available to everybody, in the court system, and perhaps not just to those with deep pockets.
Yes, and I think the other thing, which is an important feature, is that paper bundles require somebody to bring them to the judge, to receive them from the parties, take them into the court, and then on a daily basis make sure that they are produced in front of the judge. But this would alleviate a lot of that pressure, because it means the judge would have direct access to the files that he needs, and it would be the responsibility of the parties to produce those documents.
Well, thank you, Simon, for being the judge in this virtual e-trial, and thanks to all the other judges that have been involved and made today such a great success. We're really pleased with the way the technology is held out, and we just thank everyone for playing their part.
Thank you.